Hello, we're continuing our unit on measurement and talking about metric units today. For all technical and many trade workers, the ability to use metric units is important. These are the units that the majority of the world uses. We'll use feet and miles and pounds and that type of thing, but the rest of the world uses, say, meters, kilograms, and liters. The basic unit of length in the metric system is the meter. And we abbreviate that with an M. All other units used in the metric system are defined in terms of the meter. So like the centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. The kilometer is 1,000 meters, while the millimeter is exactly 1/1000th of a meter. So these are your most commonly used metric prefixes. You have 1 here in the middle. And then getting bigger, you start with kilo. So a kilometer would be 1,000 meters. A megameter would be 1,000,000 meters, and so forth. And going the other direction, a decimeter would be 1/10th of a meter, or a centimeter would be 1/100th of a meter. And so here are some of your common conversions. 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters, which is 1,000 millimeters. And 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. And you can read through those 2 slides if you like. Example 1 says, convert 348 centimeters to meters. So according to our conversion sheet, there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Notice how I put centimeters on the bottom, so it'd cancel out centimeters on the top over there. And so we just take 348 divided by 100, and we get 3.48 meters. Also, let's convert 7 centimeters to millimeters. We're told that 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. 7 times 10, we've got 70 millimeters. The weight of an object is the gravitational pull of the earth exerted on that object, while the mass is related to how it behaves when pushed or pulled. The basic unit of mass or metric weight in the metric system is called the kilogram. And some smaller units of kilogram are also defined. The gram is 1/1000th of a kilogram. So that means there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. The milligram is 1/1000th of a gram. And the microgram, abbreviated μg, that's what that weird looking M is. It's the Greek letter mu. And that's equal to 1/1000th of a milligram. Very, very small. A larger unit would be the metric ton, which is 1,000 kilograms. And so here's your conversions that we just talked about. Convert 4,500 milligrams to grams. So according to our conversions on the previous page, 1,000 milligrams are in 1 gram. And so take 4,500, divide by 1,000, and we get 4.5 grams. Convert 62 thousandths of a kilogram to milligrams. Now, we don't have a conversion factor or a unity fraction that goes straight from kilograms to milligrams, but we can go from kilograms to grams and then grams to milligrams. We know in 1 kilogram there are 1,000 grams, and in 1 gram there are 1,000 milligrams. So kilograms go away and grams go away, and we'll be left in milligrams. So you'd take 0.0062, multiply by 1,000 and 1,000 again, and get 6,200 milligrams. Because an area is essentially the product of two lengths, it's specified by a compound unit. So we'll be in square length units. So if it's measured in feet, you would do square feet. In meters, it would be square meters. Areas roughly the size of carpets and room flooring are usually measured in square meters. Larger areas are usually measured in hectares, a metric surveyor's unit. 1 hectare is the area of a square 100 meters on each side. And the hectare is about 2.5 acres. And so here you see that 1 hectare is 100 meters times 100 meters, or 10,000 square meters. Convert 456,000 square meters to hectares. Well, we were told that 1 hectare is 10,000 square meters. So we'll divide and find 45.6 hectares. Volume and liquid capacity. Recall that when a volume of an object is calculated or measured, it's in cubic length units, so like cubic feet or cubic meters. The cubic meter is an appropriate unit for measuring the amount of three-dimensional space in a room, in a pile of sand or concrete slab, and so on. For liquid volume or capacity, the most useful metric unit is the liter. 1 liter is defined as 1,000 cubic centimeters, or the volume of a cube, 10 centimeters in length, 10 centimeters in width, and 10 centimeters in height. Because 1,000 cubic centimeters are needed to make up 1 liter, a cubic centimeter is 1/1,000th of a liter, or a milliliter. Liquid volumes smaller than 1 liter are usually measured in units of cubic centimeters or milliliters. It says 1 cubic centimeter is 1 milliliter. 1 milliliter is 1,000 microliters. And 1 liter is 100 milliliters, or 1,000 cubic centimeters. Convert 24 hundredths of a liter into cubic centimeters. So we were told that 1 liter is 1,000 cubic centimeters. So we multiply and get 240 cubic centimeters. For speed, in the metric system, they use kilometers per hour. And 100 kilometers per hour are approximately 62 miles per hour. Here we want to convert 1,360 centimeters per 1 second to meters per minute. So we need to take both centimeters to meters and then seconds to minutes. Taking seconds to minutes, we know that there are 60 seconds, which needs to go on top so the seconds can go away, in 1 minute. And centimeters to meters, we know that there's 100 centimeters, which needs to go on the bottom, in 1 meter. So you would take 1,360, multiply by 60, and divide by 100, and be left in meters per minute. That's 816 meters per minute. The metric temperature scale gives the temperature in degrees Celsius. On the Celsius scale, water boils at 100 and freezes at 0. And this scale is much simpler than the Fahrenheit scale, so that's what everyone else uses pretty much, except for the United States. Since most medications are measured in metric units, dosage calculations often involve metric conversions. It says if a patient takes 60 milligrams of a medication 3 times a day, how many grams will the patient take in 4 days? So we are told that 60 milligrams is 1 dose. And she's taking, or he, 3 doses in 1 day. 4 days. And so that gets rid of doses and days. And then we need to change milligrams to grams. And we know that there are 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. So that'll leave us with just grams. So 60 times 3 times 4 divided by 1,000 is 72 hundredths of a gram is how much she'd take in 4 days. The length of a steel component is given as 8.6 centimeters. What is the greatest possible error of this measurement in millimeters? Now recall, the greatest possible error is defined as half the precision of that measurement. So the precision of this measurement is in tenths. So 1/10 of a centimeter. Half of that would be 5 hundredths of a centimeter. So the greatest possible error in centimeters is 5 hundredths of a centimeter. To find that in millimeters, we'll convert centimeters to millimeters. And in 1 centimeter, there are 10 millimeters. So we multiply, and it's 5/10 of a millimeter. Example 10 says, the cruising speed of a Boeing 787 is Mach 0.85, meaning 85 hundredths times the speed of sound. If the speed of sound at cruising altitude is 295 meters per second, what is the cruising speed of the 787 in kilometers per hour? So the first thing we need to do is convert Machs to meters per second. So we can take into account, we can change it to kilometers per hour. So 0.85 times 295 meters per second will be 250.75 meters per second. Then we can change meters per second to kilometers per hour. So 250.75 meters in 1 second. We know that there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So we're trying to get to kilometers. And we know that there are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. Now this is on your conversion sheet. So we would take 250.75, divide by 1,000, and then multiply by 3,600 and get 902.7 kilometers per hour. And rounding that, we would say 903 kilometers per hour. A very active adult who wishes to maintain her weight of 128 pounds is on a diet of 2,300 calories per day. A nutritionist, advises her to limit her intake of saturated fat to no more than 7% of her total calories. Fat contains 9 calories per gram. To determine the maximum number of grams of saturated fat she should consume per day, we'll do the following. So we'll use a percent proportion to calculate the number of calories per day. There's the part over the fact that she's on a total of 2,300 calories, and it's 7% of 100. So the part would be 161 calories per day from fat. Then we need to convert that to grams. So we've got 161 calories in 1 day. And we were told that fat contains 9 calories per gram. So 9 calories will go on the bottom, 1 gram on top. 161 divided by 9 is 17.88 grams per day. And because this represents the maximum intake of saturated fat, we'd round down to 17 grams per day. Example 12 says the most common unit for measuring contaminants in water is milligrams per liter. In the field of water treatment, this is defined as being equivalent to parts per million. That is, 1 milligram per liter is 1 part per million. When very small amounts are measured, they're reported in units of micrograms per liter or parts per billion. So 1 microgram per liter is 1 part per billion. Suppose a particular contaminant was measured at a level of 21/100th part per million, and we needed to report this in micrograms per liter. According to the definition, 0.21 parts per million is equal to 0.21 micrograms per liter. To convert milligrams per liter. To convert this to micrograms per liter, so that should be a mu there, in mg, we need only convert milligrams to micrograms. So 0.21 milligrams per 1 liter. And we know there's, in 1 milligram, there are 1,000 micrograms. We just multiply. 210 micrograms per liter. And the last example, in working with intravenous infusion, nurses most often measure flow rates in drops or microdrops per minute, while the solution itself is measured in milliliters. Suppose that a 750 milliliter IV must be given to a patient over a period of 6 hours, and the nurse must set the flow rate in drops per minute. If the drop factor for this solution is 15 drops per milliliter, the nurse must perform the following conversions. So we're starting with 750 milliliters over a period of 6 hours. And we need to change that into drops per minute. So we were told that the solution's drop factor is 15 drops per milliliter. So 1 milliliter is equal to 15 drops. So that helps us cancel out milliliters. And then we just need to change hours to minutes. There's in 1 hour, need to put that on the top. There are 60 minutes. So 750 times 15 divided by 60 would be 31.25 drops per minute. And for practical purposes, because, well, it'd be really hard to have a quarter of a drop, we're going to round this down to 31 drops per minute. And that concludes our lesson today. Here's all your conversion factors, and you've got all those conversion factors on your notes for today and in your handout, and then in the conversion sheet that I post at the end of the chapter also. So be sure and look that up and print it out for easy access.